know it took me some time to get to the place that you wanted me to be. I know it was never you. I just needed to work on me. But now I'm ready. I'm ready to love. was never you. I just needed to work on me. Oh, but now I'm ready. I'm ready to love.
Boom, boom, shake the room. Listen, that song, I didn't even know it's PJ Morton, PJ Morton sang that song. I did not know. Song's amazing. Listen, we're talking to you guys obviously about the Rashid situation with Symone. Yes, this morning I'm gonna give you guys opportunity to also have your say. Because I thought this was an interesting conversation to have, and I said I was gonna have more energy this morning, and I really do have more energy this morning. I have a lot more energy this morning. So I'm ready to go. Okay. Yesterday I was a little bit tired. The heat was getting to me. I felt like, I was, I felt like a little bit drained. Do you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't even, halfway through the commentary, I couldn't even give anything. I can't even lie to you. I was knackered. But today, I am full of life and full of energy. I'm ready for you today to give you exclusive breakdown. Now, first of all, shout out to those of you who are new to this channel. Make sure you like it, you share, you subscribe to the channel. Those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated. Okay? Stay hydrated for those of you who are returnees. And shout out good morning to those who are also members of the Mineral Gang and Patreon Gang too. So if you're a Patreon member, thank you so much for joining the Patreon and joining the Discord. And also for those of you who are members as well, you wanted to support the channel through the YouTube as well. Thank you so much. I see a few of you in the chat. You go green when you are. El Cid, I see you, baby. Thank you. Always a big supporter. And those of you who've always been supporting, thank you so much. Many of you guys in the chat can see you, Gigi, Caribbean Girl. I see you in there as well. Sherry, I see you. Sarah, I see you in there as well. Analyst, I appreciate you as well. You're one of my Patreon peoples, and I shout out to you as well. Much love. And Bloopy, I will see you. So it's good to see you. All right. If I haven't said your name, don't worry about it. Z, I love you too. So I appreciate you all. All right, let's get into the conversation, y'all, because this is some real stuff. Okay. All right. So let's get some real stuff. Let's break it all the way down because, whoa, we're not going to go through the video because we've already done that already, but we are going to talk about some real things that actually happened on that particular video. We're going to just, skip a few things and then go to it directly. But I think one of the key thing about this situation was my biggest thing is this. Why are we already in coaching mode? And maybe he has to make it very, very explicitly clear because it wasn't explicit, but it was implied, right? And I may be implying it wrong. Okay. I may be implying it wrong. So I want to make it very, very clear, Rashid, I may be implying this wrong, but I'm wondering why are you beginning to coach when you are in the trenches already? You know what I mean? I'm not saying you have to be qualified. I'm saying get yourself together first before you get into a space of coaching anybody, right? That's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm not saying that he shouldn't coach. I'm saying get yourself together first, then get yourself into a coaching position because it seemed like it was implied that there may be coaching for others. Now, what he may have meant, and I want to be very fair to him, what he may have meant is that through his videos, you might be getting help. And of course, you can reach out to him and he'll be happy to answer questions. I think that's slightly different, right? So that I want to open that also that possibility. I'm not going to say it's on that. It may be that he's also saying that for him, he may open himself up, okay, all right, and he may answer questions from you, and I think that's what it may also sound like, right? So I'm not gonna say definitely that's what it is. I'm just saying that there's many options on the table. Okay. Now, secondly, I think the also aspect of this was that whole message, okay, seemed like it was a message for Symone, for me personally. Okay, I said this yesterday, but I honestly felt like, it was a message to Symone, right? I'm gonna get her back. I love you. You're good for me. I'm doing all of this for us. I'm making sure that, I'm getting myself together. And I want to just put this warning out to anybody out there. And this is why I spoke about this the other day as well. I said to you that in reality of life, a man will tell you, I'm changing all of these aspects. Now, unless you're married to him, look, it's going to be very hard to take him on face value. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that someone can't change. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there has to be a time period where you are focused on the action, not just what you said. So right now, he said, obviously, I'm going to put actions in place. I'd rather him put actions in place for the next 6 months, go underground, and then come up. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I'd rather see that, because what's going to be difficult is, like he said, he may slip and fall. And I said this when I gave my life to Jesus. When I first did, I did it 4 times, bro. And the first 3 times, I weren't on it, right? I went right back. And I'm saying to you, like, rather go into the underground, slip up there, and you may fall back or something like that, whatever. But then literally what will happen is you have time, okay? You have time to be able to figure your stuff out. And you won't have us on your tail. My gosh, that is my eye. I feel like I got something right. Everything's a hair. I am here. But you have time to figure it out. But if you do it on the internet, I'm gonna judge you, they're gonna judge you, she's gonna judge you, and no one's gonna have empathy for you because we're seeing all your mistakes. And you're doing it voluntarily, right? Now, I don't know about you guys, but I remember back in the day when I was blocked. Okay, you remember that day, got man them? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Remember that day that you were blocked from your girl? She blocked you by phone. She blocked your text. She blocked your BBM. She blocked your iMessenger. She blocked you on MSN Messenger. She blocked you on Twitter. She's blocked you on Facebook. She's blocked you on Insta. She blocked you on every format. The last one you got. Okay, the last one that you got is email. So you drop that email in the email, and that, baby, you know, I miss you, and I've always wanted you. Da 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 da. I think I still have some of my ex's email messages I've sent to email. You know, I had to, because me, you know, when it gets messed up in a relationship, I'll be writing a letter. I write one letter, and I keep all my letters. By the way, I ain't gonna lie to you, because I sometimes look back and go, I was a little bit crazy back then. You know what I mean? I'll be writing them letters. I write an A4 too. You know what I'm saying, with a nice little front and heading. You know, break it down paragraph by paragraph. You know what I mean? Paragraph. Okay, save. And then check it, spell check, make sure, and then print off. You know, one time what I did? Let me tell you one time, yeah. I typed up 4 pages of A4, told the girl how I felt, what I'm sorry for. I put a paragraph in there, 3 or 4 paragraphs. Here's what I'm gonna change to make sure that, you know, I'm gonna make sure that I've changed certain things. Here's what I'm gonna do, you know. Then I went to a shop and got it printed on this laminate paper, right? Whatever. No, a glossy paper. I went and got it on a glossy paper. And then I printed it off in color as well, made sure, you know, I put the parts were important in red so that she don't miss those parts. You know what I mean? Printed it off, put it into a nice envelope, A4 envelope. I mean, took my paper, carried my paper, walked to her house, slipped through the thing, slipped through the little thing, went home, waiting for the text to come. Yeah? Now, we all been there. We're exactly what it is. That's exactly what he done. Right? That's exactly what he did without the A4 paper. But the reality of the situation is, change actions always beats change words. Right? Change action always beats change words. We've all been there. We've all been blocked. We've all been shut out. We've all made mistakes, and we've all tried to do that extra stuff. The text definitely came. That we've all done the extra stuff, okay, when we want to get that person back. But here's the reality of the situation. Oftentimes when we did those things, it didn't get better, the relationship. It got better for a short while. I don't know about for the ladies, but for guys, it got better for a short while. But then you went back to normal. And the reason why is because in reality, a lot of times people need time to change. And reality is, without there being new knowledge and without there being a time period of training where you get to change some of those behaviors, you ain't going to change. Now, here's the thing. If your behaviors are destructive, you actually got much, the person can't even stay around. Right? The person can't even, if your behavior was destructive, and in this instance, it's a money destruction in terms of the fact that, yes, he was making money, but the decisions he was making were very wild. What's going to stop me? Listen, did you hear what he actually said to you? He said, I'm still going to live the same lifestyle. I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to live the same lifestyle. I'm not going to change those aspects, right? But I'm going to have a financial team now, blah, blah, blah. And I hear it. Listen, I hear it. But here's the reality: priorities were missing. See, it wasn't just the money. How come you had money for a car but no money for a wedding? Now I just need you to deep it. No, it's not like he didn't hit the licks. He hit certain licks. Let's not get it twisted. He hit certain licks, right? He hit certain businesses. He got the hustle correct. The hustle wasn't wrong. But the reality of the situation was the choices that he was making within that also then prohibited what we call what was priority, right? When he did hit a lick, money should have been put aside straight away for the wedding. That tells me priorities. You know, when someone tells me, when someone tells me, like, I haven't got no money for rent, but always has money for a holiday. How are you in arrears? Okay, all right. Or you always got into arrears, but you on holiday a lot of times. That don't make no sense. How are you in arrears, but you got the fattest TV in your room? Now, when I say that, of course, some of our parents are in arrears and they know exactly what's happening there, but they ain't coming out of their arrears, some of them, so they can live there. Okay, all right, they ain't coming out of their arrears, and you know what I mean? They got 4 kids and they got you, and you ain't got that. All right, me and you ain't got that, right? So my thing is, and I'm not talking about your uni loans or whatever, that's different. But in reality, the situation is, you have a wedding. You have a wedding. You have to save 10K. So that tells me there's a priority, okay, all right, situation, right? There's a priority situation. The wedding wasn't the priority. Now, this could be a joke. This could then be scamming. This could all be a storyline. And actually, he always had money for the thingy, and they're lying to us. Could be. Could be. You know what I mean? Could be. Right? But, at one point, then he wanted to elope instead of also he wanted to elope to kind of remove the pressure of obviously having to bring the 10K to the table. My thing is, we've had 2 years to save for this. But I get it. He's been under pressure, but the plan he gave us last night is the very same plan Symone gave him. So I'm in my head, I'm like, well, if the plan is exactly the same as what Symone gave you, what's really changing? What's really changing? Right? Like, for me, I'm asking that question, what's really changing? If you are a woman watching this, or you're a woman in a similar situation, what is really changing? Something really interesting. Remember the film Think Like a Man? Remember Think Like a Man? The one thing I hate about that particular show is how it was Taraji P. Henson's situation with Michael Ealy, right? Michael Ealy eventually comes good on his dreams. Here's the thing. Michael Ealy needed to be single. Okay? He needed to be. All right? He needed to be. Because he was a dreamer. Right? He was a dreamer. Right? So in that instance of that film, Think Like a Man, he was a dreamer. But in the film, they make it seem as if Taraji P. Henson didn't support him. They're lying to you. He, okay, was a dreamer. Okay? And we need to see the work rate. Okay? We need to see the work rate. Okay? So for me personally, a lot of these things, men need time to be alone to develop certain parts of them if you're with them and they're not pulling their weight. They need time to be alone to sort these things out. We had a target of 10K. We had to do it in a year or two. We needed a year or two to do it. Okay. Other priorities became the top priority. Right? See, when you don't punish men and you don't give them consequences, they won't change. Most men won't, because what's working is being rewarded. It's called positive conditioning. If every time I reward you positively with your bad behavior, you're going to see that as positive reconditioning. Now, I'm not saying that we don't show grace, and I'm not saying that we don't um, say kind words to people. What I'm saying is there also has to be a consequence. See, God is a God of mercy, love, but there's also judgment. There's also correction for those who are his children, judgment for those who are not his children, correction for those who are his children. There's a big difference. Judgment for those who are not God's children, and correction for those who are his children. So so the situation is, in reality of the relationship, you can't keep rewarding the bad behavior. And I can feel myself feel myself talking about myself even, right? So for me personally, there's not going to be a change in this instance with Rashid, because he knows, unless he takes that time out to be himself. That's all. Time out to be yourself. Even Jesus had to go to the wilderness. Even Jesus had to go to the wilderness. Okay, right? Even Jesus had to go to the wilderness, and when he went to the wilderness, okay, he spent 40 days and 40 nights. And that 40 days and 40 nights that he did, he actually grew. The spirit was at its fullest, because at that time he was isolated away from all the nonsense. He was isolated away from the world. He was isolated from every distraction that could happen. I need Rashid in that same place. I need him in the wilderness. I don't need him to be in the open plain, because he needs to go and sit on the bench and heal. He needs to go and do that work away from the spotlight, not in the spotlight, because when you're in the spotlight, we're going to judge. And the more judgment that comes from us, the more discouraged you're going to be. Right? Now, we can scream from the hilltops, let's have mercy. And we will have, this is me having mercy, because I'm not killing the brother. I'm saying what he should be doing. Go into the wilderness and go and settle up. Because in 40 days, even 40 days, making 90 for yourself, 3 months, you can do, if you can stick to a plan for 90 days, you go and stick to it, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you get what I'm saying to you? Like, you go and stick to it. Right? So that's also important. But we know what? We've spoken about Rashid quite a bit. I now want to talk about Symone. Okay. Now, I told Symone the other day, shut the motherfucking door. Okay. I told Symone, shut the motherfucking door. And, the reason why I said that, and I did a whole video about it, so I won't go deep into it. I said shut the door because, again, you cannot reward bad behavior with goodies. By leaving the door open, really and truly, it's not about Rashid, it's about you. So let me talk to some people right now, right? Let me talk to some people right now. The door being open is not about Rashid, it's about you. If you leave the door open for someone to come in and to continually have access to you, the reason why they have access to you is because you are afraid of being alone. You are afraid of missing out. You are afraid of them leaving you and becoming the person you thought they should have become with you. But the reality is you're in the way. Right? The reality is you're in the way. Right? So what I'm saying to you, that door being open and left ajar. Now, of course, we can leave that ajar open in 3 months' time. Maybe in 3 months' time, when we notice some behaviors changing or whatever, we can ask questions. But right now, it's too soon. What's the point of breaking up if you're going to leave the door open again? What's the point of kicking the cat out the house and then leaving the door slightly ajar? What's the point? You must have left the cat inside the house. You get what I'm saying to you, right? And this is to do with her codependency. Like, the strength of her codependency is that she wants to be able to help, but she also is validated by the ability to help. In fact, codependents are validated when they're able to have power, right? When they're able to have power to change somebody. Codependents are manipulators too, or you didn't know that? Oh, we haven't got, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Codependents are also manipulators, because they thrive on being able to have power over the other person to change them. So when you see a codependent and you see even quote unquote, normally it's a narcissist, but you can have two codependent people, by the way. You can actually have two codependent. You can have a passive you can have a passive and a aggressive codependent, right? But a passive codependent lives on the ability to change the person through their words or the actions, or they normally they'll be like, you know what? If I'm there, he changes. If I'm there, he's different. If I'm there, he doesn't behave that way. If I'm there, the plan works. If I'm there, he never does this. If I'm there, he never speaks this way. If I'm there, it's always dependent upon the fact if they're there, something changes. If they're not there, something ain't gonna change. Some of us had some codependent behaviors with our church because you know how our churches be doing to us too. Okay, if you ain't there, the worship don't back. No, I'm joking. But you know, you get what I'm saying to you, right? So when I gave that advice to Symone, it wasn't just for Symone, like it was for people who are watching as well. I wanted them to understand if Symone goes back or not, it's not my business. If she goes back, Sha, what can I do? It's not my life, it's her own. If she stands strong, great. We stand behind you. We love it as well, right? But the reality of the situation is that she's not the only one. There are other people who are watching, going, "I see myself in Symone. I see my behaviors in Symone. I'm going through the same thing she's going for." So when I was talking to Symone, I wasn't talking to Symone alone. I'm talking to everybody else, man and women, who is in a similar situation, right? Now she said some very powerful things. She said, "I'm not at my best. I'm not at my cutest anymore." I was like, "Baby, you still look cute. You still look good, Symone. Right? You still look good. Don't worry about that, right? You got to sort out some of the value esteem issues here." And I get it. The time is slipping, so I do understand that, right? But it leaves you open, right? It leaves you open to situations, right, like this, where the value is being questioned. Look, I'm not saying that it's not difficult, and I'm not saying that women don't have I would even go as far as to say, listen, I hear women's plights too, right? I know they. I'm not gonna say that women's easier than men, because live a day in the shoes of a man, you realize a lot of men don't get no look-ins, okay? But the reality situation is, that that you have to have a value of yourself, as she was doing, and she did a credit check and she did a background check, and she realized that the reason why you do that is so that you can put yourself in a better position to make a decision. Now she put herself in a situation where she wanted to actually help. That's the codependency. Now she admitted it herself, right? She admitted that herself, right? She admitted that herself. It's the codependency, but also the value system. How do you value you? That particular credit check and background check was supposed to end the situation. Otherwise, like when she exposed Derek Jackson, had Denia had that information, she ain't going nowhere either. See, having the information is only one part of the battle. And I know this, and I can tell you this because I told you guys my situation, that when I had a girl at a time, and the girl literally told me she wanted another man, and I was like, "Are you sure?" I tried to persuade her to stay. That's a value system. I know when I'm looking at somebody who doesn't have a good value system because I've lived it. I know what a good value system is, and I know what a very bad value system is. I told you my own situation years ago, and a situation where my own girl literally was with another man, did her thing with another man, and I was there. You need to choose between me and him. I'm like, you need to choose between me and him. She chose the other guy, and I was like, "Are you sure? No. Are you sure? Like, no, for real. Are you sure that's what you want to choose?" I'm here begging to try and get her to back and say, "Are you nuts?" Think about it. That's a value system. See, I didn't value myself. You know why I didn't value myself? I asked myself the question, can I get another girl like her? Can I get another baddie like her? And the back is mad. Can I get another girl like that? Yo, she's a cutie too. Can man get another girl like that? The way she sings, can I get another girl like that? No. I don't know if I can get another girl like that. That's all I thought about. And meanwhile, I was young, so it's not even like I was even old. But the reality was, I was looking at myself, asking this question: can I get another like that? And isn't that many of our questions that we always ask ourselves? Can we get another like this? The reality situation, the reality situation is, you can get another person like that. Now, will you? Life will tell. But can you? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Because if you can do it once, you can do it again. Right? If it can be done once, it can be done again. Now, what am I saying this for? I'm saying this in the terms of when somebody is not necessarily is not necessarily the baddest person in the world, but they have some other great qualities. And it's understandable. You think to yourself, if I just work with this person, but here's the reality of the situation. You working with them, and from Symone's perspective, is from a codependent perspective. You know, all right? Codependent perspective, right? Codependent perspective. And so when you have that perspective, right? And I was listening to a book, an ebook, and if you're part of the membership, I'll supply the ebooks for you that I'm reading, the new ones I'm reading. I can't supply all of them now. You know what I mean? I gotta be got a whole little mystery to myself. Yeah. But I was listening to a book, and I like to listen to books, and it was interesting because she was breaking down the types of codependencies that actually happen, and it was so interesting the way she was breaking it down, the different types, and the one of them was the tutor or the teacher. I can't remember what it was, like the tutor or the teacher kind of codependent person, where they're always in a position of teaching the other person. They're always in a position like that. And that's exactly where Symone was. Symone was literally in the place of becoming the teacher, right? Because every time you're in a position where you want to tutor or teach the other person. Okay. All right. So in that instance, you gotta be very careful, right? Because when you find yourself in that place, okay, you will realize that you elevate yourself, and then it becomes a power dynamic, and then it becomes this thing where you love being in a place where you have control, because that's essentially what it is. It's a type of control through influence. So it's like, I can get him to, I can get him to do what I need to do. I'm gonna influence him to take this on. And actually, if she's really codependent right now, if she watches that video, she's gonna be too excited, right? She's gonna be really excited, right? If she's truly codependent, she's gonna be really excited, right? Really excited. And I'll tell you why she's gonna be really excited. She's gonna be really excited because where she's gonna find herself is she's gonna find herself in a place where she's gonna realize, whoa, Rashid is changing all his plans now. It worked, right? My thing worked. My plan worked. You know what I mean? Like, my plan worked. I've done what I wanted to done, and now he is changing everything. And this is where this is where someone needs to grab Symone and be like, Symone, baby, I know you hear the siren call. I know you hear the siren. I know you hear the siren song, but I need you to close your ears. Okay? All right. I know you see the siren call, but I need you to close your ears. Okay? Close your ears, darling. I know you hear the sirens coming, but you need to close your ears, right? Because the codependent here's what he just said about the plan, about how he agrees with the plan that she already initiated. The very plan that she gave him is now the very plan he's executing. Codependent spirit is going to be living. Codependent is going to be like, what? Because that's now a part of her validation, right? Self-worth. Oh my God, he did my. Oh, something is changing. Something is changing. I know it's changing. Oh, it's changing. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to think it's changing, but the reality is in all situation, nothing's changing. You know, nothing is changing. You know, but the plan was exactly the plan she had. Okay. Oh, Anna, she got okay. Okay, let me get you back on. Let me get on quickly. Go for it, sis.
Hey, hey, good morning, everyone. Can you
Morning,
hear me
babe. You're
well?
right.
Okay.
We can hear you,
Yeah,
babe. You're good.
man. Man, listen, I'm at work. I got a meeting.
Yeah.
I just had to say something. First of all, the whole thing is crazy. First, we're talking about narcissism. Then we're talking about manipulation. Then we're talking about, oh, she's done with me. Now the next day, oh, we might make it work. I mean, I'm confused. What are we doing here? Like codependency? Yeah, I could see the codependency. I said that from the beginning. The only thing though with that is she knew everything. That's what kind of threw me off. So when I first heard about this foolishness, I said, okay, maybe she was scammed, maybe she was, whatever. But then it dawned on me, wait, this lady has a whole business on background checks. How do you get scammed like that? Then then you come out, you're crying on cue on both your video and Kamisha's, and that just gave me some red flags. um I don't know, I just feel like at the end of the day, this is all for clicks, views, subscribers, and whatever. And I'm just not here for it. I'm done. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No
Jojo.
worries. I appreciate you. You know, I appreciate you. Yeah. I mean,
It's
listen, I hear
crazy.
it. It is a bit crazy, and I guess the question we're gonna have to be asking now is, what's the difference between when Simone initiated the plan? What's the difference between what now he's taking on that very same plan and having, obviously, of
Yeah,
course, Maurice's friend involved in it for that. But what's the difference? You know what I mean?
no difference. And then see, this is where I want to warn everybody. If she ends up being a statistic, meaning a single mother, because she got with this guy and he basically he's showing you, this is my failure, this is my flaw, I'm not going to be better, I haven't been better, look at my ex-wife, look at my girlfriends, look at all my past. Not saying he can't get better. I think that there is a benefit that he probably didn't realize or realize, putting himself on blast. So that's a good part about it. But the other part about it, I'm thinking, it's like if she ends up, everybody's gonna come back and circle back 2-3 years from now and say, "Oh, she was with a Pookie and a Ray Ray," and blame it on her, and say, "You know what? You should have known better." Blah blah blah. Why'd you have a child, or why'd you marry him? He put you in financial ruin. This is the stuff that we need to, as a community, see the stuff. I appreciate the fact she quote unquote stopped the wedding, right? But it's like, are you really stopping it? And this is a beautiful thing. For the first time, we're seeing people make proactive decisions for their lives to prevent problems. But then you're going right back. And if you listen to the conversation, it's all, well, he's good. He's cutting my grass. And she got that whole Whitley. He's cutting my grass right outside, and he's this girl. If you don't shut up, this man is a hot mess. He's basically a Pookie and a Ray Ray on steroids.
He a
Come
Pookie
on,
and a Ray Ray not on his Ritalin. That's what he
okay?
is.
And that's the other thing. We know there's a underlying issue, right? So we gotta we gotta address that part first. Like,
Rashid is gonna crash. You did not see his body movements and his eye contact, his hands all over the place. He
mm,
is on a high. I ain't no psychologist, and I'm just saying what
mm,
these eyes see. I'm not nothing, but he is at a height moment. When they say high highs and low lows, he's
oh,
at a high. You could see him formulating the stuff while he was doing that live. I don't know what
mm,
most people saw. He was all over the place. And the reason we're talking about so many subjects, because we're really not talking about multiple subjects. All of this stuff is interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
So you will see the narcissism or NPD and all of that stuff. You will see it all over the place. You will see the codependency. Just like when an alcoholic is sober,
Yes.
the codependent is no longer in that role of savior. There is a power in being the authority and the good person in the relationship. And I'm not saying that's what she has, but Rashid is biding time because he needed Symone 2.0. The car wasn't the hustle. Symone was the hustle. The car was the reward for his hustle.
But how can, okay, but
I could pay a lawn man $70 a week to cut my grass. I don't need, because he out there, that's a very high paying job to have access to Symone, who is a 6-figure woman.
Earner.
So me going out there and mowing the yard, yeah, I do that because the reality is she can afford somebody to mow her yard and cut her grass and this and that. But that's a small price to pay.
But at the end of the day, we already know why he's out there mowing the grass. It is not about finances. It's about, trying to vie for her attention, for her love. But I also feel like she's getting a secret high off of it too. I know
She paying for that high. She paying for that high.
She has a savior complex. She likes, if you keep hearing the way she talks, it's all about, look at what I did. I went to court.
Volunteer. She needs to volunteer at a group home, a charity. She could get her a nonprofit and teach people how to do their credit for free.
She has businesses. She doesn't need to volunteer.
I'm saying she'll feel
one at a time.
Yeah,
if you want to feel good about yourself, do volunteer work.
Well, yeah,
she can get that same high.
But guess what? Just like a narcissist, the supply is different. See, when you go out to a shelter and you're doing it from the kindness of your heart, or you're supposedly doing it from the there's a different energy. You're only getting that gratification in that kind of silo, in that moment. But with this man, it's a constant mothering. It's a constant enabling. It's a constant, look at what I did for you. The whole, every interview she's had has been, look at what I did. I went to court. He even owed it, and I still got it off. There's a high coming from both of them.
It is. I agree. But I would tell Symone.
Coach, let her land, and then you can respond.
Let me just say this last thing before I go, because I'm going to listen, but I'm got to work. I will say this in my best West African accent. Why would I'm not going to do it now, but why would I trust a drug addict to help me kick my habit? Come on now. I beg, right? What's happening? Why are you on here coaching? What are you coaching now? What are you coaching? Me? You want to coach the masses on your on your repeated failure? Make that make sense. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, I appreciate it, Ali. I appreciate you. Coach, go for it. You want to say something? Go for it. And then I'm gonna get.
I will tell Symone if she's worried about having kids, and this is unpopular, go to the sperm bank. It's cheaper than Rashid. It's cheaper. The sperm bank is not for the LGBTQ. You can always become a wife. You can always become a mother, or freeze your eggs if you're worried. She looks haggard on one of those pictures because she's dealing with so much from him. And he is 6 figures, but his 6 figures is to play with. Her 6 figures is for stability. And if he could take some of her 6 figures and put with his, that's more. See, people think, oh, what we got the same. It's not a come up. Yeah, he gonna spend his 6 figures, and he gonna spend half of her 6 figures if she let him. And he's keeping the door open. We haven't seen the real him because he's still keeping that door open. When he gets Symone 2.0, or when he feels like she's closed that door, there will be a different dynamic behind the scenes. The mask has not been completely pulled off from him yet. Let her close that door completely, and she'll get a different response. And that's what I wanted to say.
Cool. Appreciate it, Coach. Kathy, what's your thoughts?
Hi, Dr. Kojo, and happy belated birthday. I have different thoughts about this whole situation. My first thing with Rashid is why he's 45 years old. He have a son. shouldn't his son have been like the reason to get his financial game in order? Why Symone? Like, Symone is women, men go in and out people's lives. But your child, why not your child be your reason to get your game in order? To have already had a job if your business is not pulling in the money? Why not be responsible with your spending? You have a child. Like, I'm keep on hearing him focusing on what he's going to do for Symone. But my question is, why not? Why not? Why now? And why didn't you do this before when you already was in a marriage? You lost that marriage because of the same behavior and lifestyle. You have a child. Like, you're not, you have a negative bank account, and what happened to your child? Like, Symone needs to look at this because she wants to have a child with a man who is financially irresponsible and find all the excuses in the world to not get his act in order. That's a problem. And also, it feels like he was pitching, like he was being a salesperson doing that video yesterday. And his behavior is still the same because he's jumping back into trying to coach people, but haven't done any type of work. It's only been a week. How can you now want to coach people or want people to follow you when you haven't done the work in private? Everything seems to be a way to grab money. And with Symone, I think that Symone really needs to look at this I don't know if this is just a way for them to get more clicks, more views, more subscribers. I don't know. But if it's not, I think Symone really needs to look at the bigger picture and not waste her time. I mean, some of us women, we want to stick around because we love this person, but her time clock is ticking. She needs to exit the situation like you advise her to do, because this may be wasted time. And she keep on saying that he never took anything from her. He did. He took her time. She mentioned that she paid for vacations. So what else did she pay for? So there's a lot of things that Rashid have done indirectly that has taken away from Symone. And she really needs to look at that bigger picture. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Two Geeks and Nerd Productions, talk to me.
Yes, hello everyone. Also,
Captain, you're right. Good to have you back, bro. A long time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Also, happy birthday or late birthday to you too, brother. It was giving me, and I've been watching their videos through you, so I haven't watched their videos like individually. But Rashid was giving me, I'm rushing to look good. I'm rushing to get her back. And if I tell myself I can rush, if I can convince myself I can rush, everything will be okay. That's what it was pretty much giving me yesterday. I don't know if I believe him when he said we're on a break. I kind of feel like they probably did break up, but he's convincing himself of a lot of things. I feel like he wants to believe they're just on a break. I do feel like they actually did break up. It's giving me, again, let me fix it real quick and maybe let me look good to the public, because I believe that that's one of his several issues, that he wants to look good to everybody. So he's trying to rush looking good to everybody because he went public. Maybe he also did this because he thought Symone was, as they say, going to drag him. And she hasn't, from what I've seen from your channel and what you've talked about with the interviews and showing the interviews. And I saw when you re-interviewed her, I think he's just, just simply, he's just trying to look good. That's all. That's all it just looks to me. That's what he's doing. But for her end, and I believe she said some things in some interviews. I kind of wasn't surprised about, her being a certain age and wanting to have the kids. And she probably was just in that mode of, you know what, I don't feel like doing this all over again. Let me go ahead and try to fix him, not build with him. Because again, there's a difference between fixing, raising, and building. I think a lot of people, no offense to anybody, I think a lot of people get all that mixed up. Now, there was some points of building when they were doing the work together, that was building. Once he got off the plan, that was no longer building. It was a combo of a mama, financial advisor, and whatever else. That was not the building part. But I think she was probably, and probably she does. I mean, these people are human. So probably she does somewhere want to be like, well, if he does get it right, maybe I'll try it again just because he's familiar. And that's another thing I think some people have to watch. It's familiar. I don't have to start all over again. I don't have to do all this work. I don't have to take a chance with nobody else. So let me just kind of just deal with something that I think is just easier. But that's all for right now, I have to say.
Yeah, appreciate that. 2 Geeks and Nerd Production. And you know what? I'll probably do a separate video, a very short one, maybe like 10 minutes, where because based on what you were saying, I was hearing you, and it's like I think what you said was really important, right? And the reason why I say I'm not gonna I don't call him a narcissist or anything like that, because I think a lot of the issues with him is that I think we said it earlier on in our first kind of review, is that he's got a gambling spirit. And I always remember my dad used to try and warn me, like, but that's never my thing. Gambling was never my thing. I mean, I don't mind raising the stakes, playing a football game and betting or whatever, 1 or 2, but gambling was never really my thing. But what I see with Rashid is the gambling aspect, right? It's always the next lick. I wanna hit big. He's got that addictive aspect of him, right? And I think that's what's cost him in this instance. That's what needs to be addressed. But you made a really good point. You said about how he wants to look look good. And it's like, when you first break up with someone, and there are issues in the relationship, the person let you know. And instead of actually going away and working on those issues, which is going to take time to do, and then coming back and showing that person, you're so afraid of losing them that you have this motivation that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And that motivation works for the first week or two, like the person who says they're going to go to the gym, but there's no actual resolve behind it, because actually it requires you to step away. It doesn't require you to step into the light. It requires you to step away from the light so that you can actually begin to work on yourself. And I think that's where I see Rashid at the moment. And so what you were saying, 2 Geeks and Nerd as well, is really powerful, because that's where I feel like I see him at. It's like, I want to shine because I want to show you Symone. And I genuinely believe he genuinely cares for Symone. I genuinely believe he loves Symone. I genuinely believe, he cares for her and wants the best for her. I don't see the narcissism aspect, but I definitely see the manipulative aspect, because he wants to do so much. But because of that gambling spirit, he's willing to do things to make it happen. So definitely do see that perspective as well. Yes, Kojo, you wanted to add?
Rashid is trapped in his childhood, because I heard him say when he was younger, he had the accoutrements of the area. He looked the part. He wanted to be the fly guy. He always kept it. And he is still not dealing with his childhood issues and still trying to be that guy. I don't know when he'll ever address it. My parents put me on the good clothes. I had the nice things. I went to the thing. I played. I always looked the part instead of actually being the part. He will never be the part. The only thing that will happen is I think he's the only child from his mother. She will die. She will leave whatever assets, because she's been holding him up his whole life. Not his dad, who was in rehab, his whole life. And he will run through whatever she leaves him. And because he don't look like the typical, because he doesn't, He'll fool a lot of people, but he got a lot of childhood issues. We heard it when he was there, and he'll never address those. Cause at 45, you're getting to the point where as long as he could keep this con going, and he's trying to keep the con going, cause we see him doing it before our eyes. At what point you're gonna be on AARP, still doing this con? And Symone, I feel like she's feeling rushed because she wants a child, and that's probably why she's willing to stay with this. Because she's like, hey, I did everything right. I got all this great stuff. Now I got to go out there and find another person, another 2 years, 3 years before I can get what I want. I'm an outside the box thinker. If you want to be a mother, be a mother. You don't have to, because being a mother with Rashid will be miserable because she's going to have 3 children. She's going to have his first child. She's going to have him, and she's going to have the baby, and she's going to really look haggard. And Kojo, I liked your growth. I started listening to you about 2.5 years ago. And I like seeing your growth and everything. So I'm going to tap out and listen from the clouds. And you all have a great day.
I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you. Love, babe. Yeah, let me get someone else on as well. Unpopular opinion, Phil. What's your thoughts, man?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you all.
Morning, Captain.
Symone and Rashid, this whole situation is crazy. Symone was a willing participant in this whole hustle because she knew about it. Symone is a beautiful woman. She knew all the things because she looked at his credit report. She knew everything. Symone's biggest mistake, in my opinion, was she turned her personal into professional. She used her professional career to help this man out. You can never use your professional career to help out your friends and your lovers. You keep those two separately. I'm a social worker. I can never provide any type of therapeutic services to someone that I love because they're never going to see me as a social worker. They're always going to see me as their lover, their baby brother. I'm always going to be my mother's baby. She's never going to see me as a professional social worker. You never do that. And I'm not saying using her.
Phil, wait, Phil. Go over that point again. I don't want you to listen. That is an excellent point, bro. I want you to go over that point again because that shouldn't be missed. That point that you made about them not seeing you right light, go for it again, bro. I think that's a great point.
So I am the youngest of 3 children. I got 2 older sisters. I have a college degree. I have a master's degree. I have a professional license in social work. I make 6 figures in social work. To my family, I'm always baby brother Phil. I'm always the baby. They never gonna see me as this big professional who does these great things. You cannot mix the two. You cannot mix the two. And I feel like she wasn't wrong because she was trying to use her legal know-how to help him. She made the mistake is when she was doing it because he didn't appreciate it because he knew that she would always do it again and again and again because she loved him. When I listened to your interview with Symone and she said that she wanted to live off of one income, that let me know right there they're unequally yoked because he's trying to hustle. It was a good video from a YouTuber called Married for 10 years. Listen to her video on Symone and Rashid. She did a great video, Married for 10 years. She's on YouTube. Listen to that video. Symone, she made the mistake, and what she wants is she wants a child. She wants a family. And what Rashid is, he presents well enough to give her that family that she wants the outside to see that she has. He's handsome. He's faithful. He's hardworking. That's what she wants to be seen. But on the inside, what she wants out of marriage and what he wants is totally 2 different things. And Symone, you can still have that. Like the lady said before, look outside the box. It's nothing wrong with adoption, artificial insemination. It's nothing wrong with those things. Just know the risk before going into it. And now when I see that he's trying to make a business off of it, it's another hustle. It's a hustle. I think Rashid is not a bad guy, because I've had to get a financial advisor. He needs a financial advisor, but Kojo, you just said it. It takes time, and he has not taken the time to work out his issues that he has with money. He has not taken the time. If y'all still in love, y'all in love. But don't break up to make up for us, because had that car hadn't got hit, they would be getting married as scheduled. That's all I got. But I'm going to be listening and commenting. But I'm sorry, Symone, if you hear this, I'm not trying to kick a sister when she's down. I'm really not. But don't you ever make no man your client. He's your partner. He's your spouse. He is not one of the clients that you represent in the courtroom. You refer him to your friends and family, so he has to pay for it. So he has to work for their services. So hopefully he will appreciate them services, because he know if I whisper in your ear sweet nothings and I give it to you in the bedroom, you're going to come through for me every time. That's all I got for y'all. I see some people, y'all don't have to agree with me, but I'm telling you, Kojo was on money. Yo, Symone, let that go. But married for 10 years, she gave a great one. Kojo did amazing. Kojo, where is his village? Where are his fraternity brothers? I know it's some accountants, some financial advisors. Where is his village? When I heard that he was borrowing money from his mother, borrowing money from his friends to get these cars, no business plan. Symone, you're a lawyer. You go into court with a plan to get your client off. He don't have no plan. It's just he's flying by the seat of his pants, and that's not the relationship and the finances that Symone wants. That's why this marriage won't work. Once you get that baby and he don't have that money, but then I'm going to say something else, and I'm going to really let you go. Symone, this man bad with money. Why is he paying all the bills? Why is he renting out you an office space and paying for it? Why is he then working for you? You again trying to help this man out again. Why he working for you? He's a car salesman. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Symone says that he was doing marketing and advertisement. Nah, Symone, you was trying to help this man get a steady paycheck to continue to pay those bills. Symone and Rashid, if y'all listening, and this is just one man who likes you guys as a couple, work individually, and if it brings you back together, come back together. But I really do think you guys need some individual work and healing. I think, Rashid, you need some financial planning. And Symone, what you really need to look at is that a man is not a project. He's your man. He's not your client. Exactly. Take some time apart and grow. He is not your client. Symone, you went over your professionalism. I like you, but you stepped over too far. But look, I just want them all to get better. Rashid, don't be another black man out here with bad credit. We don't need that. You got a son. Like, we got to work on our credit and finances. It's okay to get a financial advisor. I got one before. I may get one again, because it really does help. It really helps. There's nothing wrong with saying that you have, some struggles in something. It's only wrong when you don't do nothing about those struggles. But Rashid, don't make this a hustle. Don't make your personal pain your next hustle and your next money grab. That part, don't make it your next money and your next hustle grab. Don't do that. And Symone, when you want to go half with a man and you want a man that that y'all can live off one income, he has to have a steady income. He can't have an income that depends on if I sell this car, but the car unfortunately gets hit in the parking lot. If that car hadn't got hit, they'll be married. But that's all I got for you guys. I'm in the comments, Kojo, still listening, still loving these panels. You know, we gonna hope for the best for them again. But ladies, and this is just for the ladies, do not cross those professional boundaries with your man. Your man is not your next project. A real man is not a project. A real man is a man from the start. And that's in any relationship you get into with. Man, woman, whatever. A man or a woman is a woman from the start. They are not a project or not somebody, well, they're good enough. No, you ain't. No, your partner or your spouse should not be good enough. They should be good. Period. Exclamation point. Not question mark. That's all I got.
Yep.
Great
Whole
point.
seven.
Great
That's
point.
a whole seven. Okay. I didn't bad at it, bro. Man came with a whole seven. I didn't know we had hitters in the crowd like that. No, listen, he made some great points, and I agree with pretty much 95% of it. You know, the thing, I just don't do the whole, have your own kid by yourself. But everything else, I'm rocking with it because look, sometimes, sometimes when someone says it in a different way, but he put it eloquently and it was so beautifully done, especially about the fact that, not becoming the not using your almost like, and it's not to say like you can't help your partner. That's not what we're saying. And I don't think Phil ever mentioned that. What he was saying is like, in a sense, for instance, when you are doing things like psychology, you cannot become the therapist for your partner. You can listen, you can hear them, of course, but if you can see that they need the therapist, you can't be their therapist. It just doesn't work. So he made excellent points. Yeah, sorry, someone opened a mic wanted to say something. I apologize. Who was going to say something?
No, I was just saying that Phil made some excellent points. It's a conflict of interest first. I think Symone really do need some individual therapy on her own, learn to be and love her own company, love herself, and she would see her own value. Rashid is, I think they're both, I think they're a cute couple on surface, but now that they have released all this information, it's not it. It's not it. As a single mom, and I'm in my 40s, I have dated people who were like projects and wasted years. I'm thankful that I have my one child. Symone does not have a child and she wants this. She should not waste her time with someone who is not going to be that man that she needs to raise his child with. It's a waste. The years are gonna go by and she's gonna find herself without a child. He's still gonna be in the same hustle spirit and mindset. And he's recruiting what's that guy named Maurice from Love and Marriage when his brother already have financial issues too. Like, that's the wrong person he's seeking guidance from. You want to make sure you're seeking guidance from someone who have positive outcomes and results. I'm sorry. And not people who are friends with you. They're not going to always be honest with you. You need someone who is going to be neutral and who's really there to help you. And it can't be a friend. I don't think it should be Symone. It should be someone that you go seek out who has good ratings, good reviews, have them hold you accountable and really set a plan that he can follow, a realistic plan. Nothing that's quick. All these quick results he's looking for, it's going to end him back in the same place.
Appreciate it, Kathy. Two Geeks and Nerd Production. You have anything else you want to add?
Someone had made the point of, why it took Symone and, why did he do it for his son? But I've learned with being personally in therapy myself, it doesn't matter if your mind is not right. It doesn't matter who's involved. He's got to get his mind right. If he really is in therapy, he needs to, in my opinion, focus on this whole gambling spirit thing. Because you said it, and I think Unpopular Opinion said it. It is also looking like, besides him wanting to rush to look good, it's looking like it's still looking kind of like a gambling game to me as well. And he seems like, and I'm not a therapist, but you got to build up your self-esteem. I do understand that they were a public couple, and there's probably that stress too for both of them to look a certain way. But life has taught me no matter how much right you do, there's going to be someone to misjudge you regardless. And I think that's kind of in both their feelings, basically, because the truth is they didn't have to come out. And I was thinking about this the other day. We get you was you met on Ready to Love, and then we see y'all back together again through YouTube. But I wouldn't have, if it was me, if I wouldn't have come out. I would have kept that and then just let everybody find out through hearsay. Oh, they broke up. I wouldn't have tried to get out here and defend and protect myself and try to look good and with a public platform. I get it. They were on a public platform. And I think somewhere too there was that idea of, well, we're already public, so they're going to be talking, so we might as well just take this all to the public. No, they didn't have to. I would give that advice to anybody. I get it. It's still your life. You don't have to follow that way. But I don't know. It's kind of honestly hard to follow up unpopular opinion, to be honest, because he hit. I mean, it was stuff that he really hit on too. The financial, the personal. But again, it's great to have someone to work with you. But even if they had stayed together while going through the process, but just had pulled back some. And when I say she moved back to her house, because she said she still had her house, and they still kind of dated, for her to watch him, that's another thing too. I think she needed more time to maybe watch him to see, okay, is this genuine? Or are you doing this because you're just trying to fight to keep me? There's also a lot of, unfortunately, I find from friends that when they're losing a person, it's like they work harder to get them or try to keep them, but you should have been putting that same energy to maintain the relationship. They're putting more energy into trying to keep somebody that they know they about to lose or that they lost and trying to get back, when you should have had that same strength of that energy in keeping the person. But yeah, she did know. She thought she could work with him. I get that. That's a good thing. But still, there should have been a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There should have been a lot of boundaries. She still should have had a lot of boundaries. But I think she was wise to call off the wedding. That's cool. And I think really that's all I got to say.
Appreciate Two Geeks, Two Geeks Nerd. Let me just quickly address the room as well, because I got a few things, I guess, admin. Shout out to those who also joined as new members to the channel as well. We see you and appreciate you. Cupcake, Nicole, shout out to you. Advanced Nurses at ACD4N, Educational Consultant, shout out for joining the members. We also got Tekka as well, appreciate you. The Miss O as well, appreciate you as well. We've got Giggy who joined as well, much love. Crystal, thank you as well. And Nikki, Nicole, love of y'all for joining. Got a super chat, want to read out really quickly as well. Sandria says, I don't think it's fake. I think they're dealing with real issues, but also that the hustle side of them sees that they can monetize their real issues. Good point. I will actually ask that to the panelists in a second or two as well. We can discuss that. And Kenya, always a good supporter, sends a super sticker. Much appreciation, Kenya. We appreciate you big time. This super chat here says, I don't think it's fake. I think they're dealing with real issues, but also that the hustle side of them sees that they can monetize their real issues. I think, it's a good point. Listen, I think it's a good point, because I hold a healthy tension, right? I wanna say that I do believe they're playing out in real life. Okay. I do believe that their relationship is playing out in real life, and we are seeing aspects of their relationship on our screen, right? I genuinely believe that he cares for Symone and Symone cares for him, and they're trying to figure it out, and it's difficult, and it's a lot of things going on at once, right? And so I definitely believe that. I also do believe as well that that there's some money grab, or there's some I don't want to say money grab, but there's a hustle to it as well. There's a hustle to it as well. And we are all hustlers here in some shape or form. When you're a content creator, you're hustling. I told you guys already, listen, this thing is going to bring views. I'll be honest with you. We've got 700 people in a room. I don't always have 700 people in a room. I normally have 200, maybe 300. I have 700 people in a room. Last night we had 1,300 people in a room. So there's a hustle. There is a hustle. I know this topic brings a lot of people to the foreground. And so we're going to have conversations about it. We're going to have conversations about Denia Jackson later on today. It's a hustle because I know that brings people in the room, but she generally says some mad things, but we're going to talk about that later on. But it's all part of, again, the hustle of this situation. So I definitely understand that there is going to be some hustle to it. And I definitely also as well get the fact that there's some real life issues being played out in front of us. What I would say also is I remember did a video back in the day about I missed my ex at the time. Yeah, I did a video like that. And listen, let me be very real with you. And this is how I know dark arts very well. So I know when I see a dark arts person, right? That video of I miss my ex, I genuinely did miss my ex, but it was a bat signal because nothing else seemed to work to get through to her. So I was like, well, I'll do a YouTube video. I mean, I generally meant what I said in that video, but it's also an aspect of trying to get the person's attention, right? Yeah. Because I knew that even if she doesn't see it, her friends will see it, right? And they'll tell her, right? And it got confirmed later on when we spoke, and I was like, oh, okay, so you did see it, right? So I know the dark arts. I know this story. I know how we move when we're trying to get people's attention. And part of that video is attention. Like, it's about getting her attention and letting her know that he's changing. Okay? It's about letting them know I'm changing. I'm becoming different. And I understand. Did the video work? Someone said. No. I mean, they saw it and they felt it, but it didn't necessarily change the immediate situation at the time. So, no, if you want to talk about impact, not really. I mean, it might have done it in the long term. Maybe the person thought, oh, well, he's definitely, but in reality, in the short term, no, it didn't work. The person didn't message me, nothing like that. Do you know what I mean? It's an act of manipulation in some aspects as well, but it's also true how you feel. You generally do miss your ex, or you generally miss Symone as he does. And putting that video there, as this goes back to 2 Geeks' point as well, is about showing that you're now the shiny new thing, but you need time to do it. And that's what I'm saying, that he can take some time out, go behind the scenes, come back, and he'll probably be in a much stronger position. He'll be in a better position that either it's going to be Symone or someone even different. So yeah. But my time is up because I've got another live in a few minutes. But Kathy and 2 Geeks Nerd, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you guys sharing your thoughts, and I'm sure we'll have more panels in a week. In fact, we've got a panel tomorrow night, so not on this particular topic, but we'll have some more conversations as well.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.
No worries
at
all.
Thank you for having us again.
It's good seeing you again, bro.
Thank you.
No worries, man. All right, so yeah, I'm about to end it now, guys. But yeah, no. So Linear Q asked a good question. So did you actually change code? I mean, you're seeing amazing growth, but are you curious? Here's a reality of the situation. I've changed. I've grown. Because a lot of the manipulation comes from a lack of value of self and existing in your feminine energy. That's the reality, right? The reality of a lot of my manipulation is that I existed in a lot of feminine energy, right? I'm not saying women are manipulators all the way through. I'm saying that I, as a man, when you exist in your feminine energy, you end up becoming more manipulative because you tend to use emotions against people. And also, I was wounded You know, I didn't know my value. I underestimated my value. I didn't know my worth. You know, I thought no one else could. I thought no one else would love me. I thought no one else would care about me the way. And when I say no one's care for me, it's not like you can't find a girl. It's that level of girl you want. You know what I'm saying? And above. You get what I'm saying to you? And that can lead you into manipulation. So what I'm saying is growth comes because you become more self-aware and you become more and you realize the mechanisms working behind, okay, all right, working behind a lot of your behaviors. Right. But as you grow, especially as a man, especially when you grow into your manhood and into your masculinity, and this is why men need to grow into their masculinity, because what it does is it forces you into execution. It forces you to take decisions. It forces you to be more assertive and to work on self. And because I hadn't done that, because I was always existing in how I feel rather than what I've got to do. And as men, we need to have a healthy balance between what you do and how you feel. I wasn't existing I was existing too much in how I feel. And because of that, it's unattractive, but it also becomes an aid to the manipulation. Yes, the podcast definitely helped. Talking things out definitely helped. Talking with friends definitely helped. Listening to other men definitely helped. Listening to other people who talk about relationships and stuff really helped. You know, so in some aspects, there were manipulative aspects to our behavior. And in some aspects, there are always going to be some behavior to me that's going to be manipulative because we're human beings, right? The reality is whether you are aware of it, that's the only difference for most people, whether you're aware of it or not, right? For instance, when your man says no and you go, but babe, you think you just being, but babe, you are manipulating. Oh, you didn't know that. But babe, when you do that little voice drop, you think you're not manipulating, you are manipulating, you don't know. But a lot of times we don't attach these things to manipulation. And like I said, manipulation isn't always bad. It's manipulation also is the ability to wield a skill in a particular way. You are able to manipulate a skill in a particular way. The way that somebody wields a sword is an act of manipulation. So manipulation isn't always bad. You know what I mean? So yes, but you have to work on you. And I'm still working. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I'm working, I'm still listening, I'm still growing. And there's lots of aspects of me that need to still grow as well that I want to be able to grow in. And you will see it, you know what I mean? So yes, it all takes self-awareness. And you guys see it with me live in action, you know, there's growth that has to happen, you know. So, but yeah, no, I want to say thank you for those of you who have joined as members. If you haven't done so already, please, if you're here, like the live. If you have not done so already, like the live. Okay. All right. Like the live, please. Okay. Like the live. Okay. If you haven't done so, it just helps with it helps with the analytics as well. Yeah. Okay. Nish said, like when I was lusting for Zadia, listen, hey, I still like a little toxic baddie, okay? That's a part that will be worked on in the long run, but I like a little toxic baddie, okay? The more toxic they are, a little bit of the baddie that I like in them. I'm gonna lie to you, okay? All right, we got what levels? We got like Zadia, Morgan, those kind of toxic baddie. Alexis was a toxic baddie. Oh my god, from previous seasons. Listen, I like a little toxic baddies. This, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like to like them. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, no. This was good. This was good. So, we're all growing and learning. Shout out to my toxic baddies out there. We appreciate you. Yeah. So if you like the live, please, thank you and appreciate you. Share it with somebody if you need to share it. Also, if you haven't become a member, you can do. Just click on our main page. You can go join, or you can click on actually on the chat bar. People can do it there as well if you're on a computer as well. You can join and support this YouTube channel. If you don't know as well, we have a Patreon. You can join the Patreon as well. Okay, there's a link in the description below. We have a Discord. Okay, so we have these conversations behind the scenes. There's a Discord. Okay, so I gotta, go and have a conversation in the Discord, but I gotta do another video in a minute or two. But yes, we will see you guys on the other side for the next live talking about Daenerys Jackson, because we need to talk about that behavior. Okay, what Daenerys Jackson's doing right now and Derek Jackson, we need to talk about these two. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. And the last thing is Married at First Sight live is later on tonight, super panel. It was meant to be on Thursday, but because of the interview I had with Symone, we had to push it back. So Monday tonight, later on at 7 p.m. EST, we'll be having the Married at First Sight live, okay, and talking about it as well. All right, so we're going to talk about some real things tonight as well. Okay. Oh, 6M. See, I don't know. 6M, I don't know what's going on, baby. I don't know why you can't do it. I have to probably try and send you a link or something. I don't know, because it should be allowing you to. I don't know why. You know. Yes. So yes. Yeah, we're gonna see you guys. All right. So we're gonna see you on the other side, guys. All right. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked. Stay loaded. You already know what it is. We're gonna put a video clip because you know why. It's important.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Baby.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Okay, we appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you on the other side. Much love.